Hey, folks, welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. I'm your host, Louis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, I just want to say thank you very much. Very grateful, very appreciative that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you don't subscribe and you're watching for the first time, or if you're watching for the 10th time and you're enjoying the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button because right now it's shout out time. It's time for me to shout out one of our subscribers. I'd like to send a shout out to Brandon Surdock. Brandon Surdock subscribed last night. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Brandon Surdock, thank you very much for subscribing. And you can check him out on YouTube as well. Brandon Surdock, again, thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button. Okay, let's get into it. We have a few things to talk about. There's breaking news today. Let me pull it up here. It's about Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega is reportedly returning to the WWE. She was released some time ago. There's a lot of speculation once her 90-day non-compete ran out, which ran out a few weeks ago, actually, I think, maybe even a month and a half ago, whether she would be signing with AEW. I know Tony Khan had expressed interest. There was some interest in Impact Wrestling, a lot of speculation on where she's going to end up. Is it going to be Ring of Honor? They have a women's tournament coming up. Could it be there? But it appears she will be returning to the WWE. Nothing's confirmed. This is Wrestling Inc. reporting. It says Zelina Vega is reportedly headed back to the WWE. Vega was at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando on Thursday of this week, according to Fightful Select. Word is that Vega was at the Performance Center for some sort of filming with the company. Wrestling Inc. recently learned that Vega's WWE return had been planned for a while now before WrestleMania 37. There's no word yet on when Vega will be back, but we will keep you updated on her status. WWE recently started airing vignettes for the return of Vega's husband, Aleister Black. She was released back in November 13 with issues with the company. Okay, so we'll stop reading that. So Zelina Vega reportedly going back. She could be going back to be at her husband's side, Aleister Black. They could have some sort of a collaboration there between the two. That could be something they're working on, but who knows? No, they really didn't go into much details as to what she's filming there, but I have a feeling that if she is in fact going back to the WWE, it will be to be in some sort of faction with Aleister Black. I think I read somewhere that Aleister Black is putting together a new faction. I could be wrong, but I thought I read that somewhere, and it would make perfect sense if Zelina Vega is part of that faction. Now that Andrade is done with the WWE, she can't go back there, so it only makes sense for her to go to work with her husband and be at his side in that faction. Or even if there's no faction, even if she just comes back and she becomes Aleister Black's manager or the mysterious Zelina Vega, something like that. But I have a feeling it's going to be coming back with Black. But again, I could be wrong. I'm just speculating, which is I don't want to say it's disappointing because I thought we might see her in AEW and that women's division there. I think she would have done well there. Impact Wrestling, she would have added a nice dimension to the Knockouts division. But hey, when all said and done, all is said and done, it appears that she is heading back to the WWE, and we'll keep an eye on that here at the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network to see if any more news comes out on this, if we get more information. And I'll report, of course, as the information comes out. But again, it appears that Zelina Vega is heading back to the WWE. Okay, Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor has indicated he will like matches against Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, and Kazuchika Okada. Shane Taylor recently on a podcast that I absolutely love. Highly recommended. Jofo in the Ring. If you haven't checked them out, check out Jofo in the Ring. They're on YouTube. That's Jofo in the Ring. Great podcast. Highly recommended. And Shane Taylor was on Jofo in the Ring recently, and that podcast was actually picked up by Fightful, and they reported on that podcast. So this report is from Fightful.com, and they're getting information from my guys, Jofo in the Ring. So good job, Joe, for the ring for getting that done. So Shane Taylor said on the podcast, Shane Taylor. They said, should Shane Taylor walk through the forbidden door, he does have a handful of opponents in mind. And Taylor said on Jofo in the ring, I would love to have a one-on-one match with Matt Taven, Kazuchika Okada, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega. All these guys are top stars. I'm the baddest of all time for a reason. Unless you do it against me, I'm not impressed. They've all had great careers, but what they've done against others doesn't concern me. I need to prove it. I need them to prove it to me, Shane Taylor had said. So that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Shane Taylor, first off, Shane Taylor, tremendous, tremendous, tremendous talent. If you haven't seen Shane Taylor in the ring, absolutely, you have to check out Shane Taylor. He's one of the best. Ring of Honor right now. He's just absolutely fantastic. I've been following Shane Taylor for a while, and he just gets better and better and better every year. And he's just a fantastic talent. And I'm thinking him against Moxley, him against Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada would be absolutely fantastic. I also would like to see Shane Taylor against Tomohiro Ishii. Tomohiro Ishii, another just an absolute tremendous, tremendous star, New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that's great stuff. Just thinking, lots of potential good matches there for Shane Taylor, and of course, this Forbidden Door would have to open up a little bit. I know the Forbidden Door is open right now with AEW, letting it Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I think AEW would have to open the door a little bit more if they want to get Ring of Honor. The Forbidden Door needs to open up a little more. If they want to have, we got NWA there as well. If we want to get some Ring of Honor talent in AEW, if anyone wants to do it, it's Tony Khan. I mean, Tony Khan he's open for business. Tony Khan is open for business, so I could definitely see this happening. I could definitely see something between Ring of Honor and AEW getting involved. I could see all that. That'd be just be fantastic if like AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, they all get together and they all exchange talent. I think that would be absolutely tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. He also said here, I'm going to read some more of Shane Taylor and Joe for Win the Ring. He said, this is Shane Taylor talking, and it's quite a bit here. I'm just going to read the whole thing. I've made no secret that if something were to present itself that helped Ring of Honor, I'd be all for it. A lot of times we've done stuff like that in the past, and it hasn't helped. It actually hurt more than it helped. And he's talking about the Forbidden Door here. With the work we've been putting in with the performances, matches, and effort, I think that doesn't help. I think that doesn't help. That it's a disservice to all the work the people have put in. If it does, then it makes sense. We have a whole roster full of people waiting to showcase what they can do. And let me say, Ring of Honor has a great roster right now. If you haven't checked them out, check out Ring of Honor. My thing would be, let's go with the people that brought us here. Why change what brought us to the dance? Taylor said on Joe for in the Ring. Again, another plug for a great podcast, Joe for in the Ring. If it helps, great. I'm sure he has a lot of options. There is the Rush connection. My job is to have me and my guys prepared or for whatever. If he wants to walk his ass at the Ring of Honor, I'll tell him. I've told everyone else, this is our house. So that's Shane Taylor. I'm not sure who he was talking about at the end where he's talking about, I'll tell him like everyone else, this is our house. He might be talking about Kenny Omega there. It doesn't really specify here who he was talking about here. Could be Kenny Omega, could be Jon Moxley. But again, Shane Taylor wants the big matches. And like I said, Shane Taylor deserves the big matches, in my opinion. And hopefully we will see big matches for Shane Taylor down the road. Because again, Shane Taylor against Kenny Omega be great. Shane Taylor against Jon Moxley would be great, as I mentioned. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully that Forbidden Door will open up a little bit more, and Ring of Honor can come walking in, and we can get some matches between Ring of Honor and AEW stars, which would be so damn cool. Okay, last but not least, Impact Wrestling has confirmed that Slammiversary, I know it was rumored, but now it's confirmed by Impact Wrestling, came out today, will take place Saturday, July 17th. Saturday, July 17th, and Impact Wrestling confirms that Slammiversary will take place. I'm glad it's on a Saturday and not a Sunday, because usually if it's on a Sunday, I have to get up early on Monday morning and I can't really watch. But now it's on a Saturday, which is great, so I can watch because I don't work on Sundays. So thank you for doing that. And also, more importantly, July 17th is 3 days after July 14th, which is when the 90-day no-compete clauses expire for Samoa Joe, Mickey James, Chelsea Green, and the other WWE stars that were released recently. The Iconics. That's when it July 14th expires again. So expect to see a couple of recent WWE releases showing up at Slammiversary. My prediction is I hope they get the Iconics. I think the Iconics would be absolutely fantastic. I said this many times. The Iconics would be tremendous in Impact Wrestling. They should sign them to a long-term deal. I mean, they would be great for the Knockouts tag team division. They really need a true tag team in the Knockouts tag team division, and I think they would be absolutely fantastic. I put the belts on them almost immediately and let them hold the belts for a very, very long time. And Samoa Joe, I'd love to see Samoa Joe come in. I'd love to see that. I don't know if he wants to sign a long-term deal, but I think he would sign a short-term deal with Impact Wrestling. I would love to see him against Moose, but again, Moose might not be on the Impact Wrestling roster. His contract expires next month in June, so he might not be on the Impact Wrestling roster. Fingers crossed that he will be, because they won't be able to replace Moose if he doesn't sign. So hopefully they'll be able to replace Moose next month. Resign Moose. Don't replace Moose. I'm sorry. We don't want to replace Moose. We want to Impact Wrestling. I hope they could re-sign Moose next month, because again, if they lose him, he's going to be very, very difficult, almost impossible to replace. But I think we can see Samoa Joe. I'd love to see Samoa Joe and Moose, as I said. I think that would be a great match. But we'll see. We'll see what happens July 17th. I'm sure we'll see some surprises at Slammiversary. Okay, on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening to me today. I'm your host, Louis Carlin. This is the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.